Okay, so you're wanting to know the best Outlander build for Teddies, and I have two builds for you in this new hero loadout. So the first one is going to be more of a long range build, one that you'd use if you were defending, say, like Repair the Shelter or an Atlas, something like that. And then the other one is more of a close range one, where you would use it in Destroy the Encampments or Rescue the Survivors. So if we go through the Outlanders that I have at the moment, which are the ones that you're going to need, and look at what bonuses they give. So first off, we have Fragment Flurry Jess. Now, her support perk, so when she's in support, not when she's commander, is that every 39 eliminations, you get another charge fragment. So this is going to be useful for both builds, because every 39 kills you get, whether it's from the Teddy or a gun or your turret or whatever, you're going to get another charge fragment. And when you put a Teddy down using a charge fragment, the Teddy is going to restore itself a lot faster than if you didn't use a charge. So that's a very useful support member. Next is Jingle Jess. Now, I see a lot of people using her as the main Outlander because it increases Teddy duration by 12 seconds, whereas a support is only 4 seconds, and that's an 8-second difference, which is quite big, but I actually use her in support for both of my builds, and I'll get to why once I get to the heroes that I do use as main. So the next is Trailblazer AC. Now he is the main Outlander that I use for close range. If you look at his commander perk, he increases Teddy damage by 46%, that's a crazy increase, and then fire rate is also increased by 25%. So when you're in close range, like Destroy the Encampments and Rescue the Survivors, you don't necessarily need your Teddy to come back as fast as you would, say, if you were doing an 8-minute defense like on Atlases. So you don't need to use Jingle Jess as the main hero, but you can use her in sport for sure. What this does is it increases the damage and the fire rate, so when you chuck it down at an encampment, and it's only going to be there for like 30 seconds anyway, because the encampments don't take long to destroy, this is going to kill the enemies a lot faster and it's going to save your life. And then the next hero is Ventura Ramirez. This is actually one of the heroes that you get from the hero quests. It's after getting 300 kills as Outlanders, and her support is increases range by 2 tiles, and then the enemies take more damage the further away they are, up to 40%. But if you put her as your main person, it increases the range by 4 tiles, so it's going to go out as far as a turret does, and the enemies still take more damage the further away they are, and it's up to 110%, which is double the damage it usually does. So if you use her as your main hero on something like Repair the Shelter, like I said, or Atlases, then if this is shooting enemies as they spawn, which it usually does when you're defending this, it's going to be doing double the damage, and I think that's more important than the 8 seconds you lose by not using Jingle Jess. And so that's why I think these two here, are the best two main Outlanders. And then Old Glory AC is also a very important one, because spending a charge fragment reduces the Teddy cooldown by an additional 10%. At the moment, this is actually bugged and it does the opposite. So at the moment, don't put this in, but as soon as they patch it, he's going to be a support hero for both builds. And then the rest of them, Ranger Deadeye is not useful, but Stare Down Soothe is, because his support is that the Teddy fires lasers from his eyes every 2 seconds. This is going to just add more damage to what you do, so I definitely put this in both of my builds. Headshot Jess is every 21 headshot eliminations you gain a charge fragment. I don't like using this one because in encampments the most of the kills are going to come from the Teddy, so you want just generic kills to give you a charge fragment. And if you're doing a normal mission, 21 headshots is a lot to get, considering that. Where's the other one? Fragment Flurry Jess gives you it for every 39 eliminations, so that's going to contribute from your gun and your Teddy, so that's why I use Fragment Flurry and not Headshot. Alright, so let's actually look at the hero loadouts. So the first one is Ventura Ramirez. So this is the build for long range. So your main perk is going to be increased range by 4 tiles, and enemies take more damage the more distance they are away from the teddy, up to 110%, so that's double damage if they're at max range. And then the supports are going to be Fragment Flurry for the gain an extra charge fragment every 39 eliminations. Then Berserker from Trailblazer AC. You can actually have a few more Outlanders that give this perk. It's a really good perk to have. It increases the damage by 30%. Really good perk. And then that is Stare Down Soothy. He's going to fire lasers every 2 seconds, which is just another, like, adding to the damage, and it's a really useful one to have. And then there is Jingle Jess, increasing the duration by 4 seconds, rather than having her as a main, giving 10 seconds extra duration. I think 4 seconds is a good compromise for the extra range and damage at range. And then last but not least, it's Old Glory AC, where if you spend a charge fragment to use the teddy, which you're going to be getting back over and over again the more kills you get, it's going to take 10% less time for the next charge to come back. But again, let me just say, it is bugged at the moment of me recording this, and Old Glory doesn't work, so at the moment I have been actually swapping him out and putting in someone like an assault damage increase, something like that, or, you know, just any of your preference. But as soon as they patch it, make sure you get him in there. And then for the team perk, I go with Preemptive Strike because I've got all of my heroes gold legendary rarity with 4 stars, so if an enemy's at full health, the damage they take from the first shot is going to be 30% higher, so I think that's a good perk to have. But the team perk is really up to you. It depends on your playstyle. Maybe you like phase shift more often, so you want to use that. You want to slow down, miss monsters and freeze people that hit you. That's up to you. That's just the one that I use. And now the second build, which is the more close range for destroying the encampments and rescue the survivors, is going to be Trailblazer AC as the main hero. Remember though, there are multiple Outlanders that have this exact same loadout, so you don't have to use Trailblazer AC. You can use any of the ones that have the Berserker as their perk. So it's going to increase the damage by 46%, fire rate by 25%, which is just crazy. And then again, you've got Jingle Jess in support for an extra duration of 4 seconds, Fragment Flurry for the charge generation every 39 kills, Soothy, Stare Down Soothy for the lasers from the eyes every 2 seconds, Old Glory again, he is in there so that you get 10% less weighting for the next teddy if you use a charge fragment. And then I've actually gone for assault damage in the last one. It's up to you at this point. He does have a shock tower as well, Trailblazer, so you might want to use someone that buffs a shock tower. I don't think I actually have a hero in mine that does that, but there are many that buff the damage or the impact of the shock tower, or the duration, or the cooldown. You might want to whack one of them in there. And then for this one, I've actually gone for bioenergy source. So for every hero with 3 or more stars, which all of mine are 4 or 5 star, so that counts for all of them, recover shield equal to 0.25% of energy lost. So I think this is a good one for encampments because you're going to be losing energy a lot, especially if it's nature enemies. But every time you put down your teddy, you're going to lose energy. If you get hit, you're going to lose energy, and then you're going to recover the shield back for losing that 5 times over because all 5 of them there. I think that's really good for close encounter combat, like destroy the encampments, because you want to keep as much shield as you can because you're going to be getting hit a lot. So yeah, I think that's a really good build. And then for both on the gadgets, I've just gone for turret and adrenaline rush. That's honestly your personal preference, what you want to go for. You could even put an airstrike instead of adrenaline rush. You could put an airstrike instead of the hover turret. You know, whatever you like. But that's just what I went for in my personal preference. But yeah, that's it for the Outlanders. If you want to take a look at the ones you need, again, it's Fragment Flurry Jess, Jingle Jess, Trailblazer AC, Ventura Ramirez, who is from the Hero Quests, Old Glory AC, and Stare Down Soothy. Obviously you can change one or two if you want. If you're more of a gun play style, you might want to swap out Fragment Flurry Jess, who gives another fragment every 39 eliminations. You might want to swap her out for Headshot Jess, who gives it for headshots, because maybe you're really good at getting headshots. You might want to swap that out. So, you know, you can do that if you want. This is more of a guide than like a firm, you have to use this, you know. But yeah, I hope that helped, because this new hero system can be a bit overwhelming, and I've found that these two builds are the best builds, rather than using Jingle Jess as the main, which I see a lot of people doing. I don't think that's actually the best way to do it. I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you found it useful, and if you did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.